like respect. But before lockdown, I had to go to Spain. Now, going to Spain as a vegetarian, it's a bit like going to Cadbury World as a diabetic, right? I didn't realise they don't have the cultural equivalent. We went out to a restaurant, and I said to the waiter, "Do you have any veggie options?" He looked at me like I'd shit in the till, right? And I said, "I'm really sorry, mate, do you just have anything without meat?" And he looked at the menu, he looked at me, and he went, "We've got duck." Now, I tried to point out duck is still meat, right? And he said, "One of the most beautiful things I've ever heard." Well, it swims, it's part fish. And there are some people that eat fish. Anyone know what you call a vegetarian that eats fish? Anyone know? Yeah. No, a liar. It's not all jokes, it's a quiz. Because I didn't realise there's this weird dietary hierarchy, right? Because meat eaters look down on vegetarians, vegetarians look down on vegans, and vegans look down on no one because they don't have the minerals to grow. And I can say that because I'm trying to be vegan at the moment, and there are genuinely some advantages to being vegan. Like it's a lot cheaper. And that's mainly because no one wants to socialise with the animal. And have we got any vegans in? Is anyone here vegan? You're not telling me that in Bethnal Green there's not you're not fucking you know there's that thing that in London you're only 15 feet away from a rat. In Bethnal Green you're only 10 foot away from a vegan, right? And now I'm technically now obliged to say, oh, there's probably loads that are all too weak to cheer, right? And I don't like that. I honestly, I don't like that. Because one of the things I found is being vegan is a lot like being American, right? It is, no, but like in the sense that you shouldn't have to apologise for it. But if you don't, people think you're a dick, right? And some people don't, right, this is something I found out recently, some people don't realise the difference between vegetarian and vegan. If you don't worry, I'll explain. So vegetarians don't eat any meat, whereas vegans don't eat any meat or use any animal products, right? So vegans never use any animal products like zebra crossing. I'm not allowed to get rid of my piggy bank, and no longer allowed to collect nectar points, right?
I think nectar points are alright, mate.
Great stuff. So, the only interaction is based on nectar points. I love that. Jokes about vegans and American, fine, nectar points, get that f*** off. I'm lucky that I'm in a box, mate. It's not the first time. I'm doing the vegan thing for a number of different reasons. Firstly, because when I was growing up, right, my dad was a vet, and he specialised in looking after really sick animals, by which I mean he was a butcher. And that made me think about my food, but also because my girlfriend's vegan, right, as well. And her name's Una, and she's Irish, so that's spelled OONAXTT. / the winky emoji, the Batman symbol, and then the transient concept of hope. It's a shit name, but great password. So and also when I say she's Irish, she's not even a fun Irish. Which is, you know what I mean? She knows. Ian McGee at the front. She knows, because that's it. Because there is, isn't there? There's a good Irish. There's the kind of but there is. And she's not that. She's like the shit one, which but they're really angry as well. They're kind of like, That's what we call the withdrawal method. She's from Northern Ireland. Anyone in from Northern Ireland? Yay! I'm gonna get kneecapped. So, whereabouts are you from? That's sweet.
Belfast.
Belfast. Okay, that's all right. Belfast. genuinely, I'm not having a go. You'll be able to back me up. Belfast, best place in the world, right? For no other reason. It's honestly true. Belfast has the largest Titanic memorial museum in the world, right? Which in 2012 had to close down due to flood damage. How amazing is that? But the weird thing is, I can understand you. And because honestly, my girlfriend, she comes to this place called which isn't that's not a name, is it? It's a not like we've been together 5 years, haven't understood a fucking word she said, right? I don't know. And we had to go, right? It was her family that we went to Spain with, hung out with them for 2 weeks. It was like hanging out with seal pups. Honestly, they just don't know what it. We were going around. Mrs. Brown's boys. Killed him. Hey, say what you like about the Northern Irish, but they've been wearing full face coverings in public for fucking years, haven't they? So, and look, if anyone's uncomfortable about this, don't worry, this isn't racist because she's white. So that's all fine. And there's going to be a few hashtags tonight. Because I genuinely, I do worry about that. And like, you know, yeah, obviously I wouldn't take the mickey out of her accent if she was Indian, would I? But I'm only doing it because I find it quite funny, and she's quite sweet, and I genuinely love Northern Ireland. This is what her hometown in Armagh, right, genuinely, this is how great they are as a people. They've got a local shop mobility shop that's simply called AIDS for the Disabled. And I thought, Jesus, if they've got problems enough, right? But now Una's a doctor of psychology, she's not a real doctor. And no one was clapping her. Go and just say, when was the last time you got on a plane and the pilot went, is there a doctor on board? We seriously need to talk about this man's relationship with his father. Right, it's never happened, has it? And we met because a couple of years ago I did a show that was all about mental health. I'm very passionate about mental health. And don't want to sound arrogant, but that show did get 5 stars. Thank you very much if you add them all up. And funny, because it's true. I'm very passionate, because like, everyone has mental health, don't they, right? If you've got a brain, you've got mental health. So we're not sure about some MPs and a few American presidents. But if you've got a brain, you've got mental health. But it makes people uncomfortable. Talking about it makes people uncomfortable. One leaving already. First sign that she's out. It's gone. And that's an example of what I'm saying. Like anything that we don't like, anything that makes us uncomfortable in the UK, we tend to box it up and we ship it off, which is how we created Australia. And I did this show all about, I had mental illness as a teenager. I actually had anorexia as a teenager. That's absolutely true. I had anorexia, and that's a huge problem. Anorexia has affected people like Kelly Clarkson, Lily Allen, Victoria Beckham, Taylor Swift. Huge problem, right? It's responsible for a lot of shit music. When I wrote that show, I said to my housemate, do you know any famous male anorexics? And he just went, Gandhi. Alright, so I did this show about it and stuff, and I got approached by a publisher, genuinely true, and he said that there's a gap in the market for the first book on male anorexia, and I put it out, it's not a very big gap, and he didn't laugh, he got really awkward. And so I wrote this book, and I wanted to kind of use humour in order to talk about mental health. I thought that'd be quite nice, and because it was about anorexia, I thought it'd be quite fun to call the book The Real Hunger Games. Apparently that infringes copyright, so we had to call it Weight Expectations. Not as good. And that's how me and Una met. this is genuinely true, because she did her doctoral thesis on men with eating disorders. She was presenting her research at a conference down in Brighton, where I was the keynote speaker. We met, and next year we're going to get married. She doesn't know that. So I'm not really a boyfriend, I'm more of a case study, right? And I get really interested in how people keep mentally healthy. So I asked one of my mates, I said, how do you keep mentally healthy? And he said, travelling, right? He's one of those pricks. I fucking hate them. He recently got the travelling bug, or malaria. So that's what it, and he's been all over the world. He has to go to these remote locations, right? He recently just went outside of Paris and was like, oh my God, it was so built up. It's so fake, so touristy. I was like, stop going to Disneyland. And he's been to Cambodia, he's been to Bali, he's been to Vietnam to find himself. And have you noticed, people only ever go to beautiful places to find themselves, don't they? No one's ever gone to Deptford to find themselves, have they? No one's ever taken a gap year in Barking, right? They have. It wasn't a chosen gap year, but they're in quarantine. But I do. He's one of these people that uses all of these phrases. He always says things like, Dave, I thought about the journey. I thought about the journey, right? Forget about the destination. Just focus on the journey, which is how he lost his job as an ambulance driver. Really annoys me because he was trying to get me to be a better person. He always says improvement starts with an I. And I don't have the balls to point out unhappiness starts with you. So. He said one the other day, it was like, a problem shared is a problem halved. And I said, mate, if 2020 has taught us anything, it's that a problem shared is not always a problem halved. Right? And it really annoys me that he uses other people's phrases. But I don't know if anyone's heard that phrase, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Has anyone else heard that? Yeah. Yeah, obviously famously said by Oscar Pistorius. Big reaction over here. She's laid an egg. And this table's just staring at me like, Jesus, Adam Sanders let himself go. I've got to wrap up, you genuinely be lovely. But honestly, right, I'll finish with it. The most offensive people in the world are honestly kids. Most offensive people in the world, right? Because I do kids shows, and what I like to do with the kids shows is I'll get the kids on stage, they tell their jokes, everyone claps, it's a beautiful thing. Now last year in Edinburgh, I was doing a gig, and I got this little girl on stage. She was 7 years old. She's called Matilda. And I went, okay, you're going to tell your joke? She was like, yeah. Now, she started telling this joke. Now, honestly, if you know the punchline to this, please shout it out, right? The joke she started telling was, why does Santa not have any children? Does anyone know the punchline to that joke? No? Okay, so the answer is because he only comes once a year, and that's down the chimney. Right, that's I once did a gig, and I asked that question, and someone said, is it because he empties his sack at the bottom of children's beds? I said, this is the last PTA I'll ever do. Now, like you, I'd never heard that joke before. I didn't know what was happening, so I went, okay, you're going to tell your joke? She was like, yeah. 250 people in the audience, right? And she took the microphone, she stood centre stage, she's like, why does Santa not have any children, right? And then a voice at the back of the room, presumably her mom, just went, no! Ran, swept her off stage! A 7-year-old ask a question, get abducted, right? Kids were crying, screaming, someone smashed a glass. I had to say something, so the first thing that came to my mind, which happened to be, kids, don't worry, Santa's not even real. Ruined a few dreams. Guys, you've been absolutely lovely. If you enjoyed that, you follow me on Twitter.